Good afternoon, everybody. Let's turn the tunes down a little bit. Let's hang out for probably an hour. I'll probably be with you guys for about an hour. If you watched the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett, I would suggest you stick around. If you have not, maybe steer clear of this live stream. Go watch somebody else and maybe don't pay attention to what I'm going to say or the chat because I don't want you to get spoiled. If you have not watched the latest episode, there will be other opportunities to discuss it, my friends. But this is going to be a spoiler-filled live stream. So once again, if you have not watched the episode, this is your fair warning. But welcome, guys. I want to hear what you guys thought. I want to hear not just about this episode, but the overall trajectory of the show so far. Are you digging it? Is it not really your cup of tea? Let me know, man. I'll tell you what I like, what I don't like. But Nick Carfora, thank you so much for the extremely generous super chat and channel support. First super chat and channel support of the stream, and it's an extremely generous one, Nick. Nick says, "Oh, I messed up the super chat, LOL. Hopefully you see this, Greedo. Been watching you since 2013 and just now catching my first stream." No kidding, man. That's awesome. Well, welcome to your first HelloGreedo live stream, Mr. Nick. Have you ever like tuned into a previously recorded live stream? Or is this like you've never even watched a recorded one? Is that the case? I'm going to keep an eye on the chat, but that's fun, man. 2013. So you started watching this little silly YouTube channel in the build-up to The Force Awakens. Those are some very exciting and nostalgic times for sure, man. YouTube was very different back then. Things were very different back then, even digitally on the internet. So I'm very nostalgic for that build-up. Kind of in the same way that I'm very nostalgic for the build-up to the prequels. And then the prequels hit, and, we all know the story. But the time before these giant movie events, I don't know, I have a lot of nostalgia for the build-up. And especially having this channel back then, it was such a really unique way to experience that Star Wars build-up, Nick? Like, I started this channel in 2011, a year before Disney acquired the franchise. So I had no idea that new stuff was on the horizon. I was just making a Star Wars YouTube channel in 2011 talking about stuff. I thought I would forever be talking about like old Star Wars, right? Never catching anything new, and then boom, endless, right? But Nick says all the time while I'm at work. Oh, nice, man. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it's pretty convenient, right? I was like 12 when I found you. Oh, I had a way, I don't know, was my mouth worse back then or now? I think it's about equal. But thanks for tuning in all these years, Nick. I appreciate it. And it's awesome that you're able to catch one live. I haven't done like an evening stream in a while. I'd like to start having a little bit more variety in the live streaming schedule. Maybe I'll start setting up a schedule, but we shall see. Anyway, I appreciate that, Nick. Cheers, man. Thanks for tuning in. Duke17 says, just checking in. Hope all is going well. Just paying bills, being adulty, and getting ready for the kids to be back in school/sports, enjoying Boba. Yeah, we're being very adulty as well. We do have a really fun Disney trip on the horizon. My sister and her husband and their kids and some of our friends, we're all getting an Airbnb and going to Disney World in about a month. Can't wait. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. We took our daughter a year ago to Disney, and such a fun and unique experience to take a kid, I'm sure, as you know, to Disney World. I'm so spoiled. I know you live in Chicago. I'm so spoiled. We're so spoiled because we live 2 hours away from Disney. 2 hours, man. Just hop in the car and be there by lunch. It's crazy. But I just signed up my daughter for a sports thing. She had been in another sports thing and dance and stuff, but give this thing a shot. Hopefully she enjoys it. But I think it's hard to say what her favorite sport is. she loves to run. So I think soccer, if she had an opportunity to maybe play a little bit more soccer and stuff like that, I think she would really get into it. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I appreciate that, Took. Hope you're staying warm up there. Cheers, man. Obscure Watch Collector, thank you for the super chat and channel support as well. Obscure Watch Collector says, hey, Greedo, Obscure again. You can't say I didn't call that episode to a T. Can't wait for the show to pick up even more and for some serious action. You absolutely did. Your predictions were Training of the Tusken Raiders, which I thought it was going to go in the... I didn't actually think it was going to go in that direction when the episode first started. But yeah, it absolutely landed with yet another... big Star Wars character helping yet another tribe of people or a village of people, right? How many times have we seen that in not only modern Star Wars, but even in the past in the Clone Wars, and we've seen it in The Mandalorian, now the Book of Boba Fett. We saw it in the Ahsoka novel. That's been the case with a lot of Star Wars, but yeah, you did, man. I'm really curious. I hope my big thing that I absolutely love, Obscure, is unpredictability and twists and turns. And I sincerely hope that this show, The Book of Boba Fett, is chock full of twists and turns and unexpected moments and, moments that catch you by surprise. I don't... Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping at least. Does anybody else get the feeling that the Book of Boba Fett is so... And Henry just said it as it was coming out of my mouth. Henry says, I like the show, just feels too much like The Mandalorian. It is so similar to The Mandalorian. That's not necessarily a negative, but it feels so damn similar. I don't know if that is just the nature of, obviously, like, same writers, same directors, kind of the same people that were involved with The Mandalorian are also involved in the Boba Fett show. I'm sure that plays a role in it. They're shooting on that, like, rear screen projector ball thing, soundstage again. I'm sure that has a giant, that plays a giant part in that feeling as well. But also the characters and whatnot. It feels very Mandalorian. But obviously, kind of same planets, some of the same characters, Fennec, Fett, but I don't know, tonally, it's so similar. So similar. And I don't know if that is a detraction for me, a negative for me, or a positive. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Barry the Bear, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Barry the Bear says, hey, Greedo. Been a fan for 5... Oh, 1 sec. Stuart. Oh, Luke. Stuart.
Solid
Caleb.
Tenths.
Barry.
I'm enjoying this story more than Mandalorian personally. Slower pace, Tusken lore, etc. Train combat was a blast and interested in developing the friendship between Boba and the mentor character.
For sure. Luke, good to see you, man. Mr. Pilot, hope you're getting some airtime. Luke, I greatly appreciate that. Give me 1 sec, man. I got Barry, Stuart, Luke, or Barry, Luke, Stuart, and Caleb. Barry says, hey, Greedo, been a fan for 5-ish years and finally caught one of these live streams. I'm curious if you've seen Neryl's video on episode 8 and 9. No, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in these past 5 years. So what would that would have been 2016. So building up and leading into The Last Jedi. Let's see. YouTube. Neryl. So when it comes to YouTube, man, I am one of the worst YouTube watching YouTubers in the history of YouTube. I think I regularly watch maybe 2 YouTube channels, and that's been the case for a couple years. Yeah, I know the wedges are backwards on Boba, Ashton. This was a very old picture, and I think it was Scout on Twitter correct. Told me to fix it. I fixed it like a year ago. Even Lego didn't catch it. It was a Lego sponsorship, and I sent them that picture, and they didn't even catch it. Is that not funny? Anyway, yeah. So I have not seen this, Barry. I'll check this out. Like I said, I don't watch much YouTube. And if I do, it's usually just from like Angry Video Game Nerd, Cinemassacre, or Red Letter Media. Those are, I would say, the... or maybe I'll tune into some Vice stuff, or maybe like some news clips, or Vsauce from time to time. But like most of the time, YouTube it's or Good Mythical Morning. Me and my wife like to watch Good Mythical Morning from time to time on the couch. But no, I have not seen this. I'll have to check it out. A late guide to Last Jedi. Really awkward. Sorry. A guide to the Last Jedi. I'll check this out for sure. 37 minutes. Nice. Anyway, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the recommendation. I'll bookmark this. Let's see. There we go. I have... Okay, yeah. Seems like it's up my alley. I'll keep it up. I'll keep it in my watch folder. We'll check it out. But I appreciate that, Barry. Cheers, man. Thanks for tuning in these 5 years. 5 years. And Mr. Luke Fredericks, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Where was it? There we go. Luke says, solid 8 out of 10. I'm enjoying this story more than Mandalorian personally. Slower pace, Tusken lore, etc. Train combat was a blast, and interested in them developing the friendship between Boba and the mentor character. Maybe. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the ridiculously generous super chat and channel support there, Luke. I don't know if I'm completely enjoying it more than the Mandalorian as of right now, but I think this episode released today kind of got me way more excited than the I enjoyed the first episode. It was a nice kind of introduction. This episode was fantastic. As you might have heard in my video that I uploaded today, one of the things that I love, and I'm right there with you, man, is the building on Tusken Raider lore, learning more about the Tusken Raiders. It's something that I never would have anticipated, like, them exploring years ago. You know, if you would have told me there was going to be new Star Wars TV shows, I never in a million years thought we would find out how they get gaffy sticks. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool, and it's kind of like a pleasant surprise that has become one of my favorite new things in modern Star Wars. The exploration into Tusken Raiderdom, I guess. But yeah, it's the train sequence was a blast. Something that I really like, and this was the case with The Mandalorian as well, is how they're not going to rely on static time slots, if that makes sense. Like, the first episode was about like 34 minutes. This episode is like 54 minutes. So if you got a longer story to tell it in a longer time. But don't overstay your welcome. If you want to make a smaller, concise 30-minute episode, boom, do it. I love the fact that they're not restricting themselves to, you know, a predetermined chunk of time. It seems like there's so much wiggle room per director, maybe per writer, with the amount of time they want to spend per episode in telling their story. But yeah, Luke, I hope this Tusken Boba relationship continues to get explored. If I had a prediction that I would make, my prediction is that maybe that's a little too dark. I was gonna say that my prediction, you know, we're building up to these. Sorry, guys. We're building up to present day, And through these flashbacks, you know, when he enters the Bacta tank, he has these flashbacks. Maybe there are these traumatic experience that we're seeing, and everything that we're seeing right now in the Tusken Raider flashbacks. I'm almost anticipating like that entire tribe, that entire village, that entire group of Tusken Raiders getting wiped out by something, and that just continuously flashes in Boba's brain. Does that make sense? Like in the dark recesses of my brain, the ways that this show could go that might be a little murderous and crazy. That entire group of Tuskens departs this universe, and it really ticks Boba Fett off. We shall see, though. We shall see. But so far, I love it. It's probably one of my favorite things that we've explored in at least the shows. That, you know, that deeper exploration into Tusken Raider lore. You know, it's kind of neat. But anyway, Luke, hope you're doing well, man. If you're still in the chat, let me know what you're up to. I'm curious. So Luke, oh God, how long has that been? I think that was before my daughter was born, so like 4 years maybe. But we used to play The Old Republic. I used to stream The Old Republic. It would be on Saturday mornings, Saturday SWTOR day. And we would stream The Old Republic and have a bunch of people from these live streams, you know, running around, playing with us. And Luke was kind enough, I don't know if it's still up, I'm curious. Luke was kind enough to build a guild stronghold. And it's this enormous stronghold for the HelloGreedo guild. But it was good times, man. I'd love to jump back into it if I have some time in the not too distant future, but anyway. Yeah, Luke, I feel you. Luke says, you're probably right. Just me wishing we could have had an entire series based on Boba having a happy Tusken family. I dig it, man. I dig it. Maybe in an alternate timeline. Anyway, I appreciate it. Stuart says, Kathleen, John, Dave, everyone, they knocked it out of the park. Totally appreciate Boba Fett. Now, yeah, I really like it. And the thing is, Stuart, it's kind of funny. The fact that it's Boba Fett, I've said this before, but let me take a sip of water. I should have filled up my water too, but...
Boba and the Tusken Raiders
one sec.
me of RDR2. Arthur at first doesn't really care, but later comes to help them in their struggle and comes to truly appreciate them, especially the Chief.
Stuart, thank you so much for the generous super chat and channel support. Once again, man, I appreciate that. But yeah, you mentioned appreciating Boba Fett. Now, it's kind of interesting, Stuart. I've said this before, but the fact that Boba Fett is in the show, and the show is a Boba Fett show, is actually not the thing that interests me. Like, I've said this before, so I apologize if you've heard it, but you could have a character named Jim, and Jim goes on adventures and becomes the Jabba the Hutt replacement. And I would find the show just as interesting. The fact that it's Boba Fett is not the most interesting part of the show to me. Like, it's the fact that a character is, you know, rising to power on Tatooine after a power vacuum is created with the death of Jabba the Hutt. That's the interesting part. The fact that it's Boba Fett, okay. Could have been Tony. Could have been Jim. Could have been Kyle. Could have been Ryan. Could have been Mark. Could have been Jeff. Could have been Mac. Could have been Tyler. Could have been Caleb. Could have been Andrew. Could have been Andy. Could have been Nick. Could have been Bob. Could have been Bill. Could have been, this is too fucking stupid. I'm going to stop. But yeah, I appreciate that, Stuart. And Caleb, Ben, Vince, and Stuart, thank you guys so much for the super chat and channel support. Caleb says, I like how Easter eggs are done in Book of Boba Fett, not forced, and you'd miss it if you didn't know where it's from. Yeah, other than the fact that Boba Fett is front and center in the show, I think it does do a good job of balancing the familiar with the unfamiliar, or kind of not shoving Easter eggs in your face. I'm right there with you. And the thing is, I'm not really looking out for them. I'm sure there's a ton of them. I have not. Maybe I'll look up an Easter egg list. Hey, maybe I'll look up an Easter egg list that somebody's written on Reddit, and then make a video about that and get like 1 million views. Should I do that? Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe that'll be my Thursday project. I'm not even joking. Anyway. But yeah, I'm with you, Caleb. It doesn't jump out at you big time. It's not in your face. It's not, crazy. And to tell you the truth, I haven't really noticed any. Are there? I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat, guys. Let me know if what Easter eggs you've seen, and I'm wondering if I've seen them as well, because I'm not ever looking for that kind of shit. Anyway, Benjamin B, thank you so much. I'm replaying Heavy Rain, got me even more stoked for Eclipse. What are your impressions of High Republic so far? Benjamin B, thank you so much. Yeah, Heavy Rain is the only game from what is that studio called? I can't remember what they're called, but that is the only game from that studio that I have played, and I played it when it first came out on the PS3, which was what, like 10 years ago? When did that game come out? Dude, I remember when that game came out, 2010, so almost 11 years ago. Wow. Oh no, almost 12 years ago. Wow, that's hard to believe. Almost 12 years ago. That's crazy. So, yeah, I remember when Heavy Rain came out. Dude, Ben, I was blown away. I thought that was just as good as graphics could be. That was such a... There's a few video games where I've kind of... I don't know, like... experienced a moment where I go, whoa, we've entered into a new realm of graphics, The first time I ever really felt that, was with Half-Life 2. I feel like, from me playing the original Doom on my family's first computer, all the way up, even through the first Half-Life, everything kind of looked the same. I mean, incremental steps, yeah, but then Half-Life 2 with the physics engine and just the water. I remember just looking at the water. But then Heavy Rain, I feel like, was another one of those benchmarks, one of those road goalposts that you hit, where you go, holy shit, graphics have gotten really good, But yeah, I'd love to play that again. They have another one called Detroit Become Human. Is that what it's called? That I'd love to check out. The problem is I don't really play very many games, and yeah, I wish I had more time for more games, but I have not. I think the last game that I played was Red Dead Redemption 2. Oops. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. And that was only for like an hour, maybe a month ago. I just have not had time to play anything. That's going to be changing soon, the next few months. I'll let you guys know. Fun, good stuff on the horizon. Some of you guys know what I've been up to the past year. And it looks like I'll be starting potentially in March with this new career. So, pretty pumped. How do we get on that topic? I don't remember. Oh, video games and not having time. But you asked me about the High Republic. Funny that you mentioned the High Republic. There was I just now started getting into it, Ben. and by just now, I mean I literally last night finished the Kindle book preview of Light of the Jedi, and I want to say it was like 20 pages, 25 pages, 50 pages. What? How many? I don't know. Let's see. Kindle preview Light of the Jedi. It got up to the point where some big shit was flying towards a system, and they were evacuating like an entire star system. And then Jedi arrived to help out, and then my preview ended, and I need to buy the book now. So I don't know how far I've gotten. I don't think it's probably not a very big preview, but I really, really enjoyed what I read. It kept me engaged more so than most Star Wars books that I've read or tried to read lately, you know. But yeah, I'll definitely be finishing that one. I need to purchase it on my. How much is that on my Kindle? Let's see, Light of the Jedi. $13. $13. Okay. $13 for Light of the Jedi on the Kindle. Maybe I'll pick that up. But yeah, I really enjoyed the preview of it. It's pretty good. I hope they do some live action stuff. But yeah, anyway. I appreciate that, Ben. Vince, Stewart, and Brock, thank you guys so much for the super chats and channel supports of this stream. Vince says, I really liked it. Train scenes are always awesome. Tashi Station, the trip scene was great. Somewhere Joe Rogan is shoving a lizard up his... They do look very similar, don't they? I've always thought that. In fact, let me see if I found a... Let me look back in my... HelloGreedo folder. I photoshopped a picture of them side by side years ago because I thought they do bear a striking resemblance to one another. I know that's not what you're talking about, but let me see if I can find it. I'm sure it's in this giant folder full of... How many things are in here? Full of... Actually, I'm going to let this go. It's calculating how big my HelloGreedo folder is. That's on my desktop itself, not even counting the multiple terabyte hard drives that I have, external hard drives. Yeah, it's the train sequence was awesome. It was super exciting, and you're right. Train sequences as a whole, train scenes are always awesome. Like it's just an instant. This is going to be fast-paced and exciting. There's so many moments of instant death on this journey across the top of a moving train, right? It's just like guaranteed to be edge of your seat because the room for error is non-existent when you're fighting on top of a train. It's just like an instant exciting thing. But yeah, I'm overall enjoying the show. As I said earlier, very, very similar to The Mandalorian, and that's probably my only complaint. It's very similar in every aspect. Obviously, that's going to be the case when you have the same writers, same directors, kind of the same people working on both shows. Also, you're shooting on the same exact like rear screen projector soundstage technology thingy. So that maybe that's why it just seems so similar as well. But yeah, this episode is great for sure. And yeah, we got like an ayahuasca trip in a Star Wars show. It's kind of fun. So my current it's 501 gigabytes. My current HelloGreedo folder is on my desktop, but I have other terabyte hard drives, external ones on my. So currently I have 29,000 files in my HelloGreedo folder. Fun. I need to get rid of them all. Just taking up space. It's a lot of video games I could install and never play, right? There you go, Vince. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. Hope you're doing well. Oh, really? I didn't really know that. I'm gonna have to look that up. Huh. Interesting. Interesting, Gable. Pukana? Pukana. Huh. I'm going to go down this rabbit hole and look into this. I appreciate bringing that to my attention. That's cool. Stuart Brock, thank you guys so much for the super chats, channel support. Stuart says, Boba and the Tusken Raiders reminded me of Red Dead Redemption 2 Arthur. At first, doesn't really care, but later comes to help them in their struggle and comes to truly appreciate them, especially the Chief. I've gotten to the point where I'm helping the Chief and his son, I think. I have a mission in Red Dead where I need to go like really, really far north to help the Chief's son. I think that's the case. But yeah, I see the similarity for sure. Absolutely. Again, Stuart, like the relationship between Boba and the Tusken Raiders is fun to watch, but for me, one of my favorite things that that modern Star Wars has kind of explored or expanded on is the Tusken Raider lore. I love it. I mean, this episode did more to... Well, The Mandalorian showed us there's a sign language among Tusken Raiders, which I love. And this episode expanded even further on gaffy sticks and kind of ceremony and self-discovery through the hallucination. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of similarities between the real world and a lot of Tusken Raider lore, which is kind of neat. Yeah, indigenous people everywhere, for sure. I haven't talked to Sam in a long time, but yeah, we're still very friendly. Sam Gavin was, I think probably the first podcast that I ever did was with Sam. He, oops. Duo message. He, one sec. One sec. There we go. Sorry, I'm getting a ton of texts right now. There we go. Okay. Yeah. I appreciate that, Stuart. I know you always talk about Red Dead and how it's your favorite game and it's a masterpiece, and I would agree. I need to finish that damn game. I don't know how much further I have in the game. I would be willing to bet I'm further along than I think I am. I'll have to look and see what chapter I'm in, but every time I sit down to play it, I get hooked for a few hours, and then for whatever reason, it's just my like video game ADD brain. I just quit and do something else. I don't know why, man. I need to finish the damn game. It's too good not to finish, right? I've been playing it for like 3 years. Stupid. But I appreciate that, Stuart. Brock, Ben, and Nick, thank you guys so much for the super chats and channel supports. Brock says, I love how they took an indigenous feel with the Tuscans, and Morrison's Maori feel into his character gives him a lot of depth. Absolutely. It's undeniable, and it's obvious that the Tuscan Raiders kind of are a mishmash of various indigenous cultures around the world, their practices. I know even like, it's kind of neat because one of the first things that we learned about them in The Mandalorian was their use of a form of sign language. And I know I took a couple years of American Sign Language, and that got that community very excited to have that kind of like representation in Star Wars, or see that in Star Wars for really the first time. Pretty awesome, you know. So to kind of feel or get these different practices or traditions, or, you know, various influences from around the world put into this, what maybe originally was just kind of like background characters. You know, Tusken Raiders in A New Hope were just kind of scavengers who might knock you out and steal your bantha. And now there's culture to them. There's history to them. We empathize with them. They claim ancestral and what was the word they used? Ancestral, not ownership, of the Dune Sea. Yeah, I really like it. I really like what they've done, Brock, for sure. It's one of my favorite modern things they've done with modern Star Wars, is exploring the Tusken Raiders and fleshing them out as a people. It's pretty great, but hell yeah, Brock. I appreciate that, man. Misunderstood, for sure. Absolutely. Benjamin B. I actually had to look this up. I didn't know that this was a character from Dr. Aphra. Benjamin B. says, looks like black chrysanthemum? Chrysanthemum? How do you pronounce that? Is coming to the show. Has me stoked for a possible Dr. Aphra introduction. She and Boba have great scenes in the comics. I've never looked at the Aphra comics. Nicknamed Black K, BK, Santee, by Dr. Aphra, was a male Wookiee bounty hunter whose career spanned... so this is the bounty hunter, or the Wookiee who, in the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett, pops up next to Jabba's cousins, the twins. Apparently this character has a history, and I did not know that until just now, Ben. I'll read this for a second. Some of you guys might not know either. So this particular character was a male Wookiee bounty hunter whose career spanned from during the rule of the Galactic Empire into the era of the New Republic. Originally captured from his homeworld Kashyyyk and trained on the infamous ferocious bounty hunter, he was regularly hired by the crime lord Jabba the Hutt, and at one point was hired by Darth Vader during the Galactic Civil War to track down and capture an agent of the Emperor. Interesting. Okay. Nice little tie-in with working for Aphra with a Dr. Aphra comic. By 9 ABY, he was in the employ of the twins, who spent days involved in debauchery on Nal Hutta. Upon the death of Jabba the Hutt, the twins used him as a deadly deterrent on their trip to Tatooine to face Boba Fett. I'm going to keep this up because this might be a little fun video to make. Nice. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, Ben. Yeah, the Dr. Aphra stuff has always been really interesting to me, and I've never looked into it. I've never read a single Dr. Aphra comic. I love the idea of almost an archaeological side to Star Wars. From my understanding, she's kind of an archaeologist. Is that correct? Which is a really unique and fun thing in Star Wars that could be explored further, and I would love to, you know, I wish I would have jumped into those comics when they were first coming out. But I can play catch up, right? Just watch a couple YouTube videos. But yeah. Anyway, cheers, Ben. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. I'm gonna keep this up and do a little research and maybe make a video. What do you think? Anyway, I appreciate that, Ben. Nick Carfora, once again, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Let me take a quick swig of the water. Nick says, how would you feel if the Acolyte... there we go. How would you feel if the Acolyte is about Starkiller? Also, I've subscribed to the Patreon, but haven't gotten the role in the Discord. Just wanted to know if there was something else I have to do. It should be an automatic tie-in with your email. It's been a while since I've looked into how to do that. Let me see. I just got on Discord. After the stream, I'll hop on the channel and I'll ask what needs to be done to make that happen, but it should be an automatic thing. Let's see. Type in the chat what your username on there is, and I'll get it working. Double check what needs to be done. Nice. Okay. But yeah, so Nick, for me, the thing that gets me... So, first of all, The Acolyte is probably the show that I'm the most excited for. Because it's the one that has the most mystery surrounding it. Every other show has like a character's name in the title, right? You got Boba Fett, you got Kenobi, you got Lando, you got Andor, you got Ahsoka, and then you have The Acolyte. And hopefully what gets me excited about that show is the unknown. So if it was about Starkiller, which I don't think it will be, because The Acolyte, I believe, is taking place like early in the High Republic, something like that. I'm not too sure on the timeline, but I'm pretty sure it happens takes place sometime in the High Republic. Could be wrong about that. I don't pay attention to much. But yeah, so if it was about Starkiller, or if it was not even Starkiller, if it was about a character that we're already familiar with, to tell you the truth, I think I would be a little bummed out, because everything else coming down the pike with Star Wars shows features something that we already know. You know what I mean? And The Acolyte could be such a nice breath of fresh air. You know. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Nick. Yeah, I'll look into that right now. I got Discord pulled up. When the stream ends, yeah, when the stream ends, I will do that. Knock that out. Sweet. I don't know if the Patty Jenkins show is still gonna, or it's a movie, Rogue Squadron. I don't know if it's just kind of put on hold or what the deal is. Again, a lot of you guys know I haven't really been paying attention to much this past year. I'm just now getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, I never looked into it beyond the name. LOL, I'm just speculating based on the name and font. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think I'd be a little bummed out, just because it's the one like breath of fresh air, maybe completely new thing that we're going to be getting that isn't associated with something else we've seen before, you know? But we shall see, man. But I appreciate that, Nick, and right after the stream, I'm going to hop on over to Discord and look into that for you. And we're almost at an hour. Yeah. All right. Andrew Rodriguez, thank you so much. I'm going to call it final super chat and channel support of the stream before I hop off. It is still early in the day. My daughter is hanging out with my parents today, as she does every Wednesday. I'm able to get a lot of stuff done around the house, occasionally hop on for a little live stream. Yeah. Andrew says, the first 2 episodes were great so far. I have a feeling this show will be as good as The Mandalorian. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Me too. To tell you the truth, Andrew, I'm way more excited than I initially thought I was going to be. You guys know me. I'm the guy who always wants new stuff. New. And the idea of constantly like bringing in and rehashing old characters really isn't all that exciting to me. I've never really been one to understand like why everybody wants a Vader movie. Like, dude, we have a lot of Vader stuff. Let's get new stuff, right? So the idea of bringing Boba Fett back and having a show initially was just kind of meh. I'll watch it, but meh. But the show has kind of exceeded my expectations because it's not really Boba Fett that gets me excited about the show. It's the events around Boba Fett. It's the fact that there's a power vacuum. And as I said earlier, the fact if it was another character, I would be just as excited for the show to see what happened. If it was Jim, if it was Tony, if it was Adam or Mike instead of Boba Fett, and Adam or Mike were vying for power on Tatooine to replace Jabba the Hutt, I would be just as excited for this show as I am with the fact that Boba Fett's back, right? So, yeah, man. I'm really enjoying it so far. Feels very similar to The Mandalorian. I'm way more excited for the next episode than I initially thought I would be. Going into this show, but it's exceeded my expectations, and I'm excited to see what twists and turns lie ahead. But I'm glad you're digging it, Andrew. I'm glad you're digging it, man. I appreciate that channel support this afternoon as well. But all right, guys, that's it from me. That was almost an hour. I am out of water. And I'm gonna. What else do I'm a list maker. So wake up at 5, and make a list. I made a video. I streamed. I've already vacuumed and Swiffered the home. I sent out a bunch of emails, both work related, school related, and personal related. And I have a few more things on my list. I cannot function on a day-to-day basis without a list, man. I am a list maker. It's the same thing, like even for tasks that are on my list, I have to have lists for those tasks. A prime example is it says workout, right? I got a weight bench in the garage, but within that list, there's another list of groups that I need to work out, of things that I did last time on my previous list. Lists within lists, organization, or I just wander. That's how it is, man. Organization, or I just wander. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I appreciate the hell out of you guys tuning in. I'm glad you're, for the most part, enjoying the Book of Boba Fett from what I've seen in the chat. I'm excited for next Wednesday. I'm going to try to upload a bunch of videos this week. I'm going to try to do a bunch of streams this week as well, and maybe upload a few things on the weekend. But maybe until March you will see a lot of me. I think March is, as some of you guys know, all done with school, graduated, done with training, and now I'm just looking to get hired, and there's waiting lists in every county. But I think there might be an opening nearby in March. So cross my fingers that happens. So until then, man, you might see a lot of this this stormtrooper helmet wearing asshole. But all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. To everybody who supported the channel, I appreciate it. Channel survives because of you. So everybody, have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are on planet Earth, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Cool? Cool. All right, guys. Later.